Hi, my name is Gabrielleburton, licensed marriage and family therapist intern.
And I'm JacentWamala, licensed marriage and family therapist.
And we are your hosts of the Wealthiness of Healthiness Show. Every week we come to you with content to hopefully help inspire, uplift, and encourage your mental health journey.
Our goal is to just share the information that we've learned and hope that it helps you to try something new in your life or elevate to a new place and make new friends and have fulfilling relationships.
Yep. So we are in the friendship series, and today we're really excited about having this conversation about how to recover after breaking up with a friend.
I think everyone has had a time where they've fought with a friend, for sure. And there might have been times where you've had to reevaluate and kind of change the nature of a friendship or kind of stop being friends with someone altogether. I know I've been hearing it a lot more in my sessions with clients recently.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we build friendships, I mean, there's a lot of memories that are being built. You're being very vulnerable with this person. And sometimes, like, you have ideals of thinking this person's going to be in your wedding, or you have your kids are going to grow up together, and so when you have to step back or a friendship ends, that can be really, really hurtful.
Yeah, it could really be painful because you plan your lives together. I know I've talked a lot with my friends, and we send each other those memes of like old people, like, oh, this is us when we're old in a nursing home or whatever. Because I'm not going to be in a nursing home, but but like this is us, and so you make plans with the people that you have in your life, and sometimes friendships last longer than romantic relationships. You may have known someone since you were in kindergarten or something like that, and so it's a lot of time and investment energetically, emotionally, with your time. So it's important to honor that.
So tip number one would be, after you've had a friendship breakup, it is to allow yourself the time to grieve. That's really hard.
It's a loss.
It is a loss. When you really think that you're gonna build this life with this friend. I know I had a friend who I was really close with, and I was so sure that I was going to be in her wedding. We had all these plans together, and we just grew apart, and that was really, really hard for me.
Yeah, and so tip number two kind of supplements that, and being patient, because if you're grieving, it takes time and it's a process. So you want to be patient with yourself and give yourself the time and the space to kind of go through those emotions, because you might think, well, are we really not friends, or should I reach out? You go through shock, denial, bargaining, depression, and so you could go through all those stages. And I think just being really kind and compassionate with yourself, knowing that it could be a process, practicing patience for sure. And you might want to reach out, and maybe it's not a good time. Maybe you need to wait,
Absolutely.
So that patience is really helpful. Leads to tip number three.
Tip number three is to do an honest appraisal of the relationship. So I think a lot of times we tend to glorify the relationship. You tend to pick out the best parts in the relationship, and you're like, oh, I remember we did this together and that, and this person always made me laugh. But then also being super honest about, well, did we fight a lot? How did this person make me feel when I was in their presence? How did this person respond when I was thriving and when I was, doing well? Did I ever question that this person had my best interest at heart? Did I have to dim my light when I was next to this person? And if any of those are a yes, then maybe it's best that the relationship didn't continue. The other part of being honest about that is also checking in with how you were as a friend. Maybe there were times where maybe on the flip side, you weren't able to support them and their endeavors, or be celebratory of, highlights and milestones in that other person's life. So one of the things you can do is asking other people that are in your life for feedback of how you are in that relationship.
I love that. Yeah, I think that getting that information from people that you have in your life, and then taking it a step further and saying, so what do you think I can do to work on that thing?
For sure.
If I have a condescending tone, like how could I communicate differently?
For sure.
Or if I'm a flake, like what, how could I be better about being on time, or not committing to things that I can't actually make?
For sure.
And so I think that could be really helpful, using your friends as your resources.
Right. And I would say, like, just to kind of expand on that just a little bit, being aware that you are going to show up differently in different relationships. And so I know at one point I had a friend who did not bring out the best in me. And so the way that person experienced me was completely different than how my other friends experienced me. And so that's when I realized, I'm like, wow, we're just not a good match for each other. We just don't bring out the best in each other, and it was okay that we did step away. So being able to get a really good, evaluation from other people in your life that are going to, be honest with you is a really good way for you to kind of get an idea of where you stand.
Yeah, and so tip number 4 is getting back out there, right? You've grieved, you've been patient, you have done an honest appraisal, which helps you to get back out into the friendship market,
right?
Of sorts, and start making new friends or cultivating the friendships that you already have, and creating depth in those. That could look different ways. You might try different things, or hit people up that you used to hang out with or be close to that maybe you want to kind of reconnect with. But I would think that the end of that is, how do you move forward and find people that are going to support you where you're at right now, and that people that you want to invest in and support as well.
I love that. So we always want to not only give you tips, but we also want to give you some challenges to step away from our content with, so that you're able to, put our tips in action. So the first thing that we want to challenge you to do is, if you've recently gone through a friendship breakup, is to give yourself some self-care. So a challenge is, figuring out what makes you feel better in the moment and allowing yourself to take care of yourself after recovering from a friendship breakup. Like we mentioned before, it is a loss and it's going to take some time. So making sure that you are speaking kindly to yourself, giving yourself positive affirmations, letting yourself know that it takes two to make a relationship work. And so most likely you're not the only one in the wrong if the relationship didn't work out. And also knowing that it's very possible, if the relationship is one that you feel could potentially work out in the long run, knowing that you working on yourself and making yourself a better person is going to put you in a better place of hopefully rekindling the relationship later on.
For sure. So I think the last challenge would be, in taking care of yourself, maybe tapping into some creative outlets, right? And so as you're maybe spending more time investing in yourself, maybe you're journaling, or you're a creative writer. You like art, so you take yourself, on an art gallery tour or something like that. So just kind of going within and reconnecting with yourself and the things that really help you to feel good, to practice your creativity, because I think in that it can be really healing and helpful as well.
For sure. And in that, putting yourself in those environments, maybe you make new friends.
Exactly.
Right? So that's awesome. I think it kind of makes me think about just being authentic to yourself and going towards those things that you genuinely like. I think sometimes even in friendships, maybe the friend that you lost didn't allow you to explore those different things, and so take this opportunity to tap into who you truly are, your authentic self, and try those new opportunities out, and maybe you'll meet new friends.
Yeah, that's the hope. So we'll see you next time. Leave us a comment, share the video. If you have any topics that you would like us to address in a future series, leave that below or send us an email. But we'll talk to you next time.
Yep.